The Derby is considered probably the most prestigious race in the entire world.
It's one race everybody in the country knows about. It's the first race somebody asks you if you won.
The ride in the Kentucky Derby is it's our dream. I mean, it's a dream come true.
The build-up is phenomenal. That's kind of what horse racing is all about.
200,000 people there in the grandstands, and they're all there just to watch that one race.
You can feel it in the air, man. I mean, it's different.
The Kentucky Derby is probably the most difficult race to get a mount in. There's only 20 positions available.
Of course, it's 3-year-olds. You only get one chance at it.
That first quarter mile, the race down to the first turn, fast and furious.
There's a lot of jostling going around.
Everything's going through your mind. Position, are we gonna get lucky today?
It's an amazing feeling. You know, it's reaching the pinnacle of our profession.
The noise almost knocks you off the horse.
Justify has won the Kentucky Derby!
This is the reason that we get up every morning to participate in this one race a year.
The most exciting 2 minutes in sport. This year's running of the Kentucky Derby just 7 days away. Curtis Kalleward, Dubs Anderson, welcome in to the Saturday setup. So we're going to jump in, tackle some of the big stakes action here this afternoon, but a lot of the big talk and big focus towards next Saturday's Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, the field's starting to get set. We're going to have the post position draws later on today, so very excited, Dubs, to see how the chips are going to fall.
Oh, I see what you did there. Chip Honcho, big news coming across with the star 3-year-olds you highlighted. We will find out the starting gates in just a couple of hours. But in terms of Chip Honcho, not going to be a go next Saturday in the Derby. That's massive news coming across.
It is, and it's a stakes winner, a horse with a lot of experience. He's going to wait and target the Preakness Stakes. Not the first horse we've seen do that as well. Iron Honor already targeting that race as well. But yeah, huge news. Chip Honcho out of the Kentucky Derby. I think this is a smart move. We saw what he was capable of doing at the fairgrounds. He's just not of the caliber in his last few races to be competing in the Kentucky Derby. But if you look at years past, Dubs, horses that were in the Derby, very few go to the Preakness. So you're going to just naturally find a softer spot there. You might have the Derby winner, a couple of horses also that ran on, but they're also all going to be tired. Chip Honcho will be fresh in the Preakness Stakes. I think it's a smart move.
I think it's a very smart move. And for more breaking news here this morning, we send it out to our very own Andy Biancone from The Breakfast Show.
Mike, thank you so much. We saw Chip Honcho put in a nice 5/8 drill this morning, and trainer Steve Asmussen announced earlier in the week that you would make a decision whether Chip Honcho would run in the Derby or whether you would divert and run in the Preakness Stakes based on how this work went. But I understand you spoke to the owning connections, Lee Ackerley, James Sherwood. What is the decision?
We're going to wait for the Preakness with him. You know, he's a big, strong, developing horse. Think we have a lot of year ahead of us, and you know, no good excuse for his disappointing effort in the Louisiana Derby. And I think past skipping the Derby now, don't want 2 negative races in a row, and get him to 100% for the Preakness and get back in the mix.
Overall, what were your impressions from the work this morning?
He goes well over the racetrack and stuff. He needs to settle just a little bit more, be a little more consistent, but I think we're headed in that direction.
Well, breaking news here at the Steve Asmussen barn. So Chip Honcho will skip the Derby, and we will see him in the Preakness Stakes. But Steve, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And the team doing a fantastic job taking us through the breakfast show. So Chip Honcho not going in the Derby. What does that mean? Bob Baffert with a big contender now on the inside.
Yeah, Litmus Test is going to join it, and that just makes this pace even hotter because that's a horse that's forwardly placed. He's a big horse. I remember going into the Arkansas races that Bob Baffert was saying you can't let this horse get stopped or get in behind horses and have traffic trouble. So what does that mean? Martin Garcia named to ride Litmus Test now. This is a horse that's going to really liven the pace. Every year I feel like we come into the Derby, people saying, oh, well, it's not going to be that fast of a pace. Oh, it's going to be a fast pace, people, and it just got faster.
Litmus Test will look to absolutely book it, and we saw that in the Low South Futurity. 2 starts since then, and looking to recapture that top line form. Here is the updated Kentucky Derby leaderboard. Commandment, our number 1 horse, could be the horse to beat. On the outside looking in, the Bubble Boys now falls with John Ennis, having Great White sitting in that 21 spot.
And a horse that won the Battaglia over full effort, who's in the field here. He won the Jeff Ruby out of that race. They tried the dirt and the bluegrass. It didn't work out well for Great White, but trainer John Ennis said, forget about that, draw a line through it. The tracks at Keeneland and Churchill are very different dirt compositions. Some horses excel at Keeneland and struggle at Churchill, and vice versa. So I'm not going to knock the fact that he was poor in the Bluegrass Stakes behind Further Ado, who's just absolutely destroyed that field. It is going to be interesting to see if he does draw in, will he handle the Churchill Downs dirt? He has been training there. You would think that maybe Dubs, the fact that they haven't pulled him out of contention says he's doing well on the dirt.
Yeah, I know John Ennis of the Yard, big expectations behind Great White, and you'd love to see just one of the many great storylines building in to this year's Kentucky Derby. On the human side, let's take a look at some of the top pilots and the success that they have had the first Saturday in May. It's Johnny V with 3, and of course, big money Mike Smith, followed by the Flying Frenchman in Pratt.
Yeah, and Flavien Prat's on emerging market. He's going to want to get rid of this right here, that big asterisk sign right there, because he got it via DQ with Country House winning when Maximum Security was taken down. Castellano, the team that brought you Mage, is not just Castellano, but also the ownership, the training group behind Mage. They're bringing you the Puma. And Alvarado with Chief Wallaby, not only is he trying to win his second straight Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, that'd be a massive achievement there for Junior and the squad. We saw him figure it out in 2025 and a great chance coming back in for this one. Chief Wallaby likely going to be one of the big buzz horses. You know, a lot of pundits already talking about Chief Wallaby and having that upside going against the likes of a Mage 2.0 and forms in the form of the Puma. But I tell you what, Junior's got a great chance here.
He does, and the fact that Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott is adding blinkers to the horse after his run in the Florida Derby, I think that speaks a lot to what he thinks that there's still some more to unlock within this horse. You talked about being the buzz horse. He put the blinkers on, had that sharp work over the local track. Everybody raving about it. The problem is that now with all of that buzz and kind of becoming the quote-unquote wise guy horse, the price for Chief Wallaby is going to be lower than what it probably should be based on what you've seen from him, who he's facing. So keep that in mind. If you are going to be playing Chief Wallaby in the Kentucky Derby, Dubs, you're probably going to have to take a little bit of a tax on the price.
And Curtis, that last graphic list we had were the jockeys that have found success in the big race. That's certainly going to bode well come the first Saturday in May. You're always trying to navigate a bit of traffic. It's tough racing room. But if you look at the historical data, a lot of first-time starters in the irons have figured it out.
Yeah, and maybe you just call that beginner's luck because you look at the horses, the jockeys here on the list. I mean, Sonny Lone was the last one to do it with Rich Strike. He came in from the also eligible list. But you see right here, as it stands right now, the jockeys who are set to ride for the first time in the Kentucky Derby. It's crazy that Jaime Torres is on this list because he's already a Preakness Stakes winner. He won that with Seize the Gray a few years ago, but now he's going to try to go backwards here. So happy for Edwin Maldonado, who'll be aboard Pavlovian. I love that Redham Racing and trainer Doug O'Neill are very, very loyal. If a jockey gets you somewhere, you're staying with that horse, and I think that's such a great thing to see. Edwin Maldonado has been a mainstay in California for a long time. He seems to fit the horse really well. Very happy to see that.
Names with a lot of confidence that we can back with authority. You certainly know they've got a Kentucky Derby mount. They know their way around the racetrack. In terms of jockeys trying to go back-to-back, Junior Alvarado getting it done with Sovereignty last season, a good chance coming into this one, but certainly not easy because you need to have the IQ, the race credentials, but you also need a bit of good luck.
You certainly do, and with 20 horses in the field, it's not just who's got the best horse, who gets the best trip. Victor Espinoza did it not only back-to-back years, but he had the Triple Crown Contender California Chrome. We know what happened to him in the Belmont, and he came back from that near miss, and he won the Triple Crown with American Pharoah. Calvin Burrell, the unlikeliest of jockeys to do it back-to-back. And then you've got Hall of Famers, Eddie D, Ron Turcotte, Jimmy Wingfield. You're going back to the 1890s. To show you how hard it is to make it to the Kentucky Derby with the live mount, that's 6 times in race history. We're having 151 runnings of this, and 6 times a jockey has won back-to-back.
So that's taking a look at the top pilots, the jockeys in the game. Let's go to the trainer side of things, trying to go back-to-back. And trainers that have managed this very rare feat, no surprises there. Bob Baffert in 97 into 98 with Real Quiet. The coach, D. Wayne Lucas, Jimmy Jones, Ben Jones. These are some of the biggest names in the sport. And Bill Mott already has the credentials, being a Hall of Famer, that looks to add to that.
And it's what I find interesting as well when you compare that. You've got Lucien Laurent, who had Riva Ridge and Secretariat. The only time the same jockey trainer won back-to-back was that year with Lucien Laurent and Ron Turcotte. So to show you how hard it is for Alvarado and Mott to go back-to-back with Sovereignty and Chief Wallaby, this is why the race is so historic, Dubs. It's so hard to even get here, let alone win it.
And it's no longer just the best in North America. They are coming from all sides of the world, if you will. We know the Japanese Raiders are getting closer and closer. We saw it from Forever Young going back to 2024. But let's take a look at the bigger picture, the Foal picture. And look at where we start. Foal's in 2023 and the way this number sort of descends coming in to next Saturday.
And it's almost like you cut it in half, and then by, almost 90%. It's just, again, it's so difficult to get to this point at all. That's why you see horses in the Kentucky Derby starting it. You think, why are they running that horse? You might think this horse has no chance to win the Kentucky Derby. That's not always what it means. Again, it's so hard. I can't underline this enough. It's so difficult to even get a horse healthy and talented enough into the Kentucky Derby starting gate. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. If you're not in the horse, or you meet someone who's not in the horse racing world, and you're a trainer or a jockey, the first thing they ask you is, have you won the Kentucky Derby? I probably haven't even had a horse in the Kentucky Derby, let alone win. They don't understand how difficult it is, but hopefully we're kind of emphasizing that here.
It's one of the biggest achievements in professional sports, and we're going to find out where they're starting from, the post positions, in just a couple of hours. But here we stand, 7 days away from this year's Kentucky Derby. Curtis, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes.
Who's likely going to be the post-time favourite, not knowing the starting spots?
Renegade. I think that Renegade is going to be, because you got Irad Ortiz Jr., Todd Pletcher. Irad still has not won the Kentucky Derby, oddly enough, but Todd Pletcher has done it before. If you see his Arkansas Derby win after being such an impressive winner going into that race, and also, I think that going into the Bluegrass before he got hurt, Paladin was the likeliest favorite for the Kentucky Derby. Let's assume Paladin wins the Bluegrass. Okay, Paladin's going to be your favorite here for the Derby. The horse that's come the closest to beating Paladin is that horse right there, Renegade. He actually crossed the wire in front of him in a maiden special weight race. They threw it back down again in the Grade 2 Remsen last December. They went their separate ways. Unfortunately, Paladin off the Derby trail. But Paladin was my number one. So if Paladin's out, the horse that was right there with him, Renegade, should be number one as well.
It's Renegade coming in for Todd Pletcher, a big winner in the Arkansas Derby and projected to be maybe that post-time favourite. And here's why. Let's take a look.
The Grade 1, $1.5 million Arkansas Derby, 200 qualifying points for the Kentucky Derby. Now we have Derby hopefuls and a favorite in Renegade.
Yeah, he's coming off a dominant victory in the Sam F. Davis. Still has to prove himself going a mile and an eighth, but look at his demeanor. I know Andy Biancone's been saying that all week. She's been galloping him.
Well, Renegade, maybe one of my favorite rides ever. He was just so professional, so classy, really an athletic horse. It's like he was very in tune with the rider. Whatever you asked of him, he would do it right away. He just handled everything with such class. He really is a horse with a lot of confidence, who's very sure of himself, and I think he's going to be really tough here in the Arkansas Derby.
Well off the pace, Renegade at the back of the field.
Renegade, not only did he have to come from behind, he actually had to take back down the backside at a pivotal point where you should be moving forward, and just past the half-mile pole going into the turn. He's still last right now, and you could see he's going to follow Silent Tactic right there. He's still in between horses right there.
He was classy. The way he galloped, he felt good, and he was quiet and relaxed. Like, he got everything handled. So just let him be him, and we have a beautiful trip.
Renegade had to go wide around the turn. He was in about the 6th path.
The horse that he beat, Silent Tactic, is a really nice colt, and he had the jump on him, and he left him like he was tied to the quarter pole down the lane, and this is going to be a type of performance that's going to be tough to top.
Renegade way out in the center of the track, but he's coming with a burst. And here comes Renegade sweeping to the lead, and Renegade is drawing away in the Arkansas Derby. It's off to the Run for the Roses for Renegade in a dominating effort in the Arkansas Derby.
This is a great journey that is just getting started with a great horse like Renegade.
You know, listen, he's just getting better and better and better, and Todd always liked it, and this is the best start of his life, and the next one's a big one.
Renegade, unbelievable today in the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby. He's off to Kentucky next.
That was Renegade in the Arkansas Derby. Very impressive, very polished, and a very good chance of being the one to beat next Saturday in the Kentucky Derby. If we're looking, I guess, for the spoilers, the other heavy hitters and headliners coming into this one, Brad Cox, always a name synonymous with getting that buzz going into Derby week. Commandment comes in with some red-hot form.
He does, and the Buyer speed figures back that up. The form, the number of ones that you're going to see in his past performances as well. I mean, Commandment in the Florida Derby, I think this is his defining win, because watching live, I don't think anybody knew who won this race. The Puma's going to be such a tough luck second here, but if you watch it without knowing the result, You maybe think that the Puma, who's got the lead here, has the win, but watch Commandment. What I think is his best trait, Dubs, is that he is such a consistent runner. His fractions in the Florida Derby, he was just rolling off 12 seconds, 12 seconds, 12 seconds. There was no slow early, fast late, fast early, slow late. He just is consistent. Go, go, go. Don't let the horse get stopped. You've got yourself a freight train that just keeps on chugging.
Yeah, enjoys racing, knows where that finish line is, and looks very similar to what we saw out of Sovereignty at the back end of last season as well. So Commandment looking to come up clutch next Saturday. Other threats, you just highlighted the Puma coming in for the Delgado yard. Is it Mage 2.0?
I think so. And this is actually the horse that's going to be my pick to win the Kentucky Derby, barring any poor, horrible post draws there, which we'll find out in a couple of hours. So fingers crossed for the Venezuelan sensation, Gustavo Delgado. His nickname when he was in Venezuela winning classics all the time was the Puma. His training method is called the Puma training method. That is why the horse is called the Puma. When you put a name like that on a horse, when he has such a beloved trainer and connections, it means a lot.
It certainly does. They've got the strike rate, 5 Derby runners out of the last 10 years, and you can tell there is a confidence building behind the scenes with the connections. And for more, let's take a look.
The Kentucky Derby is the reference as the biggest race that you want to win. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's just crazy, the impact that the race has worldwide.
Mage has taken the lead here as they come into the final 16, and it is going to be Mage to win the Kentucky Derby.
I don't think there is a single day you don't think about it. I gotta be honest with you. It's a lot of ups and downs, so you use it also as a therapy. It was a pivotal moment for the barn, for myself, my family. It changes everything. Winning at the highest level and play at the highest level, that's always the goal. We are a small barn, but I tell you that the Derby is what gets us going. I think I'm really good at identifying horses. I mean, it's been proven. This is the 5th time that we qualify a horse for the Derby, and we've only been here 10 years, my dad and I. And we take a lot of pride in that. You can be the Michael Jordan of training, but if you don't have the right horse, you're not going anywhere. When we went to sale, he put a really nice fast breeze, and he was more on the chubby side. He was a heavy guy. And the first thought that came to my mind, if he can do that, carrying all that, I wonder what he's capable of when he tightens up a little bit. And as soon as we started breezing him up, this horse wants to do something big.
The Puma, further ado, these two go on. Canaletto's between them. The Puma's in front late. The Puma wins the Tampa Bay Derby.
He's got a good mind. He's a very quiet horse. He follows the directions of the rider very well. Having a guy that is a Hall of Fame, we have a lot of confidence in him, and I know that he's got a lot of confidence in us too.
His running style is ideally to which race are we thinking of.
I know, and you've been here before. It might taste sweet the second time.
Good. Thank you very much.
Naturally, you start to compare what other horses in the past have done. So we already have a profile of the horses that can make it to the Derby. And of course, the job is not finished, although we qualify already for the race. So every single day, we'll have to be in our A game, take the horse there in the best shape possible. My dad's been training horses for 50 years now. He's got a lot of experience, not only here in the States, but he's got a long career in Venezuela, where we're from. Some people call him crazy, but he's my kind of crazy, I mean, I love my dad, and he's not only my dad, he's my best friend also. He's the best partner that you can have. Sharing this, it's a really good feeling. Nothing compares to that, honestly.
The Puma coming in hot to this year's Kentucky Derby. Going to be one of the big contenders, and you've got to take that confidence from Gustavo and the team there. They love what they've got in the Puma.
And if you watch the video of when the Florida Derby was happening, there was video of the connections. They actually thought that they had won the Florida Derby. And another reason I love the Puma, I love the Commandment as well. But when you're talking about betting the Kentucky Derby, a lot of people are going to look at the fact that Commandment won, the Puma was second there. The number of people who will bet Commandment because of all of those ones in his win column are going to make that price shorter. But when they were that close away from each other and you're getting Puma at, what, 3, 4, 5 times the price of Commandment Dubs, I think, again, the value as well as the talent is there with the Puma. But I think ultimately what we can take away from this is that the Florida Derby contenders, which also includes Chief Wallaby, that was the main circuit as far as the Kentucky Derby goes. And I remember being here on the desk when Chief Wallaby and the Puma debuted against each other at Gulfstream Park. The buzz backside was that these are two Derby contenders, and neither had even won a race yet.
2 stars in the sport going into next Saturday. Another one being Further Ado, also coming in for the Brad Cox Yard. So let's take a look at Further Ado. What we have seen this season has been strong, notably coming off this big win in the Bluegrass out of Keeneland.
And this is a horse that in 2 starts at Keeneland has won in the same fashion, just absolutely blowing people away in the stretch. Now, if there is a knock on Further Ado, look at the races away from Keeneland. Yes, he won the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes at Churchill Downs. Having a win under the Twin Spires is huge, but he barely won. And if you look at who he barely beat in that race, are any of those horses in the Kentucky Derby? No. You look at what happened in the Sam F. Davis Stakes. Yes, Brad Cox's trainer said, oh, he was a little short going into that race. But the Puma beat him on the square. So as far as Further Ado goes, he's a horse, to me, Dubs, that needs to have everything exactly go his way. And when you're talking 19 other rivals in the race, plus the roar of 150,000 people, plus whatever the track conditions are, plus whatever post he gets, you're trying to get so many things to go exactly right in a race where nothing ever seems to go as planned. So Further Ado, just be cautious taking him at too short of a price is my recommendation.
One of the great things going into Kentucky Derby week are some of the big storylines trending into the big race, and so happy for trainer Mark Gladd. You know, for Mark, gone through a lot of adversity, had to overcome that this season. And I tell you what a standout surprise performance that we got here in the Santa Anita Derby. But hey, if you're in the starting gate next weekend, you've got a fair dinkum chance.
And these are owners, Saints or Sinner Stables, that have been strong supporters of Mark Glatt and the Glatt family in whole. Losing his wife Dina just weeks before the Santa Anita Derby, Mark said afterward, he said, "This is, you know, she didn't walk down with me to the winner's circle, and it really hurt." You could feel the emotion there, and beat a horse in Potente for Bob Baffert, who I said in January, I think this is Bob Baffert's best horse at winning the Kentucky Derby. I still stand by that. The numbers for Bob Baffert have certainly dwindled since then, but to beat Potente so strongly like that, and coming in off of a subpar performance prior where there were some excuses, he'd missed a work, he was a little off, he was all game, all heart in the Santa Anita Derby.
Curtis, you're going to be jacked up. I'm getting all kinds of excited for this Kentucky Derby. Still 7 days away, but plenty to jump into going through this weekend into next. Let's take a look at some of the big highlights through the next 7 days. The Derby Week race coverage here on FanDuel TV. We'll have breakfast at the Kentucky Derby, taking us right through to Thursday. It's opening day today out at Churchill Downs, and we will have post-position draws for both the Derby and the Oaks after race 3 from Churchill. First post there at 12:45 Eastern. That's not too far off. We'll have our handicappers preview show, get all the tidbits, facts that you need to know to hopefully back a couple of big winners on the Friday Oaks Day. And of course, next Saturday, the 2026 Kentucky Derby, the run for the roses. It is almost here, Curtis.
Am I seeing that right? 8 a.m. Pacific, first post. Not a typo?
I'd love to see it.
Oh boy, as fathers of young children, we'll certainly be awake that point.
Hey, nothing better. Grab the coffee, load up those accounts. We are getting after it. It is a busy week as we now take a look at the spring meet highlights out there beneath the Twin Spires. Kicking off with the Kentucky Oaks, $1.5 million on the line. The undercard, world-class racing in bunches, and then Super Saturday with the big marquee, the headlining event, the $5 million Kentucky Derby, Curtis. But I know there's a couple other races here on the menu that got your attention as well.
Yes, look at all the number of grade ones. 5 of them in total on Saturday's card, and then you have 2 of them, including the Kentucky Oaks, on Friday's card. I love playing on big days, big weekends, the 2-day double. So you've got the Oaks Derby double. You've got the Turf Classic into the Derby, the La Troyenne into the Oaks. There's so many different ways that you can play. Let's say you're looking at a race that you think is going to be a heavy favorite wins. Okay, we don't have to bet that horse to win. Make some more money by playing doubles from those other wagers.
All the way through the month of June as we jump into the Breeders' Cup win and your ins as well. That's what's coming up, going through the spring meet out at Churchill Downs. Opening day is almost upon us. That first race not too far off, so let's take a look at the big feature, the Roxolana Stakes. Weather looks to be picture perfect, right around 75 degrees locally. Tailor-made for good racing here. The 4-year-olds and up squaring off over 6 furlongs. A couple of scratches to note, the 4 and the 5 will not go. But we do have a bit of form if you go off what we've seen in the last couple editions of the Roxolana Stakes, Curtis.
Yeah, last 2 years, the winner of the Roxolana, they're facing off here. Minx Palace, Zeitlos taking on each other. It's a 6 furlong sprint, so you're going to be all speed, all gas, no brakes. Luis Saez gets Minx Palace for Eddie Keneally. Jose Ortiz, boy, is he red hot. He's going to be aboard Zeitlos for Steve Asmussen. Each horse owns 4 wins under the Twin Spires, and certainly several wins at the distance as well. All 4 of Minx Palace's wins have come going 6 panels.
A couple of course specialists, Lock and Horns later this afternoon. Minx Palace, the 3, Zeitlos, the 6 there for some very strong connections. One Magic Filly sits at 5-2 on the morning line. It's T-Gaff coming in for Brendan Walsh, and we take it back to this performance in the Chaluki, the Grade 3 right here at Churchill Downs.
And this is going a mile. Keep that in mind. It's also November, so towards the end of the year, it's a couple of weeks after the Breeders' Cup. So the level of field, maybe not what it would have been. Truly, it's at the end of a very long campaign for a lot of horses. But Chaluki, good effort here. She's going to be, I think, very strong in this race. You have to question what is the price going to be for her in the Chaluki Stakes, for the Roxolana Stakes, but she's certainly a horse coming in with strong connections. Tyler Gaffleone and Brendan Walsh. I've never met a horse that those two teamed up with that I didn't like.
And the mare likes to sit there, one off the pace, so gets a very strong draw coming in to this one this afternoon. Outside of One Magic Filly, we've got some prices elsewhere, and a lot of these big connections, they're starting to get it ready, trying to get it dialed in, going into a very big week next week. Given the scratches there, we may see a bit more movement the closer we get to post time. The Roxolana Stakes going off as race number 9 on today's program. In terms of other threats, the 7, Vincy Girl, sitting here at 9-2, making the first start out there today beneath the Twin Spires. Numbers very consistent and off a win last out. The Saturday setup right here on FanDuel TV. We're just 7 days away. Get set for this year's running of the Kentucky Derby. It is almost post time.